here because I work with the Mayan widows in Guatemala, and I feel like I'm representing them, and our government, our administration's policies are killing them and their children and their husbands. And some way I've got to play my part as a member of a society that is imposing so much suffering on so many people. I can't just walk away and say, oh, I'm helping the nice Mayans. I've also got to realize I'm an American citizen that's hurting the Mayans, and I've got to play both games to change one way and to do the other thing.
So there's a kind of, not to go egghead here, but a kind of coincidentia positorum, because on one level what you're saying is, it's all right, don't worry. And on another level, you clearly are involved in a search for defining your role, where you would do some good.
Optimum judo move.
Optimum judo move. So it isn't enough to just say the system will take care of itself.
But I am part of the system that is taking care of itself.
So it's a sense of acting without acting through self.
It's being not identified with the actor and not being identified with the fruits of the action. That's, I mean, to me, one of my basic texts is the Bhagavad Gita, and those are the two injunctions. Mm-hmm. And I really hear those. And they're very weird. How you do an act when you're not identified with being the actor and you're not attached to the fruits. I mean, I lead this funny, continuous paradox that suffering stinks and suffering's grace. And I live with both of those all the time.
Well, I think most people do.
I think most people have taken a position.
Oh, that suffering is bad, they hate it, they want to keep it away from it.
Or that it's grace and it's, lovely.
Well, and then the great masses of people never really draw the distinction, because for them suffering is like air and water.
It's life. It's life.
It comes with it.
Life.
Burying the many children you bear.
That's why I found in the villages in India less suffering than I found around the middle class in America.
Certainly less whining.
Well, less preoccupation with what they don't have.
Well, they have a philosophy of reincarnation that must sustain them.
There is something else that's feeding them.
Where we have a philosophy of, if you don't get it now, you never will. Exactly.
We threw out in the councils of Nicaea, Trent, and Constantinople just the thing that would have healed, but we did it so that the church could have power over.
Well, I think it was Friedrich Nietzsche who said there was only one Christian and they crucified him.
Yes, exactly. Oh, God, that's so good. That's such a good line. Here comes...
Now, have you been waiting for me? Because I'm the waiter, I need to wait.
We've been looking everywhere for you, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been waiting for the here and now, but that was somewhere else.
Well,
but can I help you here a bit?
You can help us here, and you can help us
now.
there.
Very good. I'll help you here. I hope you enjoy my conversation.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
do we get a check, or is this all on the house?
No, I am the check. I am the check. This is Prague, my sir. God is everywhere, but Czechland is here, Okay, I keep one more bottle for you in the refrigerator.
Hold it in
but not in the here and now. In the somewhere else, maybe later. But see you.
Well, I was asking you, what did we do wrong in the 60s?
Yeah, okay.
One thing that has occurred to me, and I certainly felt it with my friends, was we assumed it would go on forever. We had no notion of window of opportunity.
Yes.
We just thought we'd blown the doors off the hinges and they would never be put back on.
Yeah.
To me, the most amazing transformation in my lifetime is not the revolution of the 60s, but the counter-revolution of the 70s, where they managed to put the cuckoo clock back together again, even though we'd kicked it all over.
Did they or didn't they? That's what I'm... see, you keep thinking there was that opportunity and it closed, and I think it happened then. And all of the 70s and 80s and all that was this kind of reverberation to this process. And that I'm here, and you're here, and we're both still here, and it's the 90s, and I got a lot of people that, I talk now in Middle America, and I look at my audiences, and they've never taken dope, they've never read Eastern holy books or anything, and I just say the same stuff I was saying in the 60s that I was saying to people with flowers and big pupils, and these people in the middle, they're corseted, nice people, and they're going, and I think, far out, look, it happened. And I was looking the other way.
Well, that's true.
And that's where you're looking for the resonance of a person to come forth that speaks from that consciousness with the assurance of the truth of it.
Right.
That's what I think, why all this business of a Christ figure, I mean, I see how seductive it is, but how we've gotten very cynical because we've projected into such a person a purpose. I guess a purpose. Yeah. Instead of just that light forming out of the needs of the moment to create that light to which, because I find if I speak from a true enough, for a moment when I can do it, from a true enough place in my heart, it reduces the paranoia, the subtle veils of paranoia in another person. I don't do it to them, it just falls away. Because they're testing, and they don't get from me anything that says like that. And I just watch them like a flower, like that. And I think, boy, I give a lot to just be that instrument. That's worth working for.
Well, that's a great role.
But it's a role for every one of us. That's the role. That's what I said to the ITA. I said, just don't talk about it.
Exemplify
let's do it.
it.
Let's be it.
Do
for
it.
God's sakes.
Well, Blake said a wonderful thing. He said, if I can get it right, if the truth can be told so as to be understood, it will be believed.
Right. Exactly.
So all you have to do is say it.
Exactly. When can you say it simply enough? Is it only said in silence simply enough? Or are there words? Or is there music? Or is there what? Or is there...
There's words, there's music, there's silence, there's gesture, because it's always going to exceed one's grasp.
See, my mantra is the Gandhi line, my life is my message.
Yes, you said that the other night. That's very good.
Of every level of being.
I think I'm at a little lower level because I'm very aware that I have to struggle to have to say my life is my message. I would almost rather say my message is my message. Please don't look at my life because I'm a fallible human being and I'm constantly fucking up.
But you see how that weakens your message. You see how that quality means that the message doesn't come from the root, the central. There's a way in which it waffles.
True.
And that's the thing. I really can't. Once I saw the possibility of that, I said, why waffle? What is worth holding on to that's worth waffling about?
Well, I once said to Leo Zeff, I'm sure you knew Leo, I said to him in a meeting, I said, Leo, you're finished, you're completed, you're baked. Me, I'm half-baked. And I hope that the rest of my life will finish the baking process.
You're not half-baked. That's what's interesting. I mean, when you and I talk, you and I hear each other perfectly. Truth. And so where are we hearing each other from? I mean, then we each play our game, the way we play our game, and you can play your game saying I'm half-baked. That's your strategy if you choose.
It's a mercurial strategy.
Yes, I understand that as such.
Here's to Mercurius. You have somehow been able to survive the gauntlet of American media in a way that your colleagues and comrade in arms didn't seem to. They either had to step away from their leader role or they transmuted it into some lesser thing. So now Allen Ginsberg is poet laureate, Tim Leary is, keeps the club scene in Los Angeles interesting. Yes. But you, in a sense, never backed down, never retooled. You were also not first among equals back in the original thing. But when all is said and done...
I was always the second in a way, it's like birds. If you stay just behind the lead bird, you don't have to do much. You know, you're just kind of riding along on the.
Well, and Ralph tells me to be third is the real good position.